Yeah, buddy. All right, we're actually live. Now we gotta quit fucking around.
Welcome to the world of the real.
That's such a good movie.
It's one of my favorites.
It's honestly such a good movie, and just, I mean, one of the better movies.
Did you ever see
What?
Dark City?
No. What is that?
It was a movie that came out literally the year before The Matrix, and they share so many similarities that a lot of people think The Matrix sort of ripped it off, but it's like a different story in some ways, but it does have this whole like what is reality thread to it. And it's got a lot of visual similarities. Like it's very black leather. It's got it actually has a shot that's very similar to the one where like Trinity jumps building to building and you get that undershot of her. That shot was cribbed from Dark City.
How do they think like you're gonna rip a movie like that off though? Like because production for The Matrix, like
I'm sure it started well beforehand.
that's what I'm saying. You can't rip a movie off that came out like.
Well, when did
the
production
year
for Dark
before.
City start? The year before the production for Matrix started?
Are you saying they were like leaking?
I don't know how it happened. I just think that there's a lot of very suspiciously similar content.
Oh, Rocco's got jokes. Interesting. All
Ha
right.
ha.
Well, everybody that tuned in was getting a free Apex, but
Oh, don't even say that shit.
like way to start a shit show
Yeah,
on YouTube.
goddamn.
Like,
You want to start drama?
number one. Talking about starting drama. I'm not starting drama.
I think it would get dramatic pretty fast if you said everyone who tuned in was going to get an Apex.
I'm actively walking.
That's a
away
verbal
from drama.
contract. That's not a verbal contract.
It's not a verbal contract.
Y'all motherfuckers aren't getting shit.
Nobody's getting anything. This is a under entertainment category.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah, we need a disclaimer.
We need an intro song.
I got it's working on it.
It's working on it. I was just thinking 99 Quite Bitter Beings. That's the best intro song, in my opinion.
Swear to God. It's a good song. Can you hand me my drink?
Jesus Christ.
Can you hand me my drink?
No.
Fine.
No, I'll get it.
No,
No, it's fine.
I'm just gonna be dehydrated the entire podcast.
That's not gonna hydrate you.
What the fuck do you mean it's not gonna hydrate you? Dude, anything will hydrate you. Clorox will hydrate you.
All right. Yeah. No,
what's
I
the
understand.
main ingredient in Clorox?
Water.
Okay.
I understand what you're saying, and I don't like it.
That's fine. And you know what? Like, I appreciate that response. I do. I'm serious. Like, I appreciate that response more than anything. Like, because there are things in this world that are true that I just don't like.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to deny them as if they're not like, best extender. Get the fuck off my YouTube channel. Swear to God. But yeah, like, there are things that I don't like that are just like, they're like factually true.
Mm-hmm.
They are just like tenets of science and inarguable at this point.
Can you give me an example?
I bet that sounded really good across these microphones.
Swear to God.
That probably sounded really cool. Okay. A fact of science and life that is absolutely true, inarguable, and I don't like it, I hate it, is that according to comparison studies that have actually been done on it, vegan, vegetarian, carnivore, paleo, and keto, and macro-based dieting, like if it fits your macros,
Mm-hmm.
provide exactly the same health benefits over the course of 12-week comparison studies if you look at them. So here's the real thing. It's like, the fact of the matter is, it's not the fact that you're just eating meat on carnivore. It's not the fact that you're not eating carbs on keto. It's not the fact that you're not eating meat on vegan and vegetarian. It's the fact that you're getting less fat, and losing body fat across the board produces health benefits in every marker, like every area that we measure to measure you getting healthier, like blood pressure, cholesterol.
Yeah.
So measuring your lipid profile, and like looking at your hemoglobin A1C. Whenever you lose weight, you get measurably healthy. And so the fact of the matter is that you can eat completely organic USDA, steak for 12 weeks straight, or you can eat Cheez-Its and
lentils and rice.
No, I'm saying, like, seriously, like, if it fits your macros, like, those guys, like, fucking love fitting, like, Lane Norton's big thing is, like, he loves, like, ice cream sandwiches, and he eats an ice cream sandwich, like, every day going into competition. Like, he fits it into his macros somehow.
That's what's up.
But that's the thing is, like, I can't, so, like, being a science-minded, evidence-based person, I want to be like, no, dude, like, eating,
Yeah. You want there to be like
eating carnivore.
You want there to be like a singular solution.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I want to be like eating carnivore, like eating, like your steak and rice and shit is like the best way to go. And it's just factually incorrect. It actually turns out. Now, performance dieting is different than eating for like getting healthy.
Right.
So like
100%.
If a person is trying to get as strong as possible, you can fuck off with your vegan shit. It's just not going to happen. You just like, you're also going to have a bitch of a time. Like in these studies, you're going to have a bitch of a time, like meeting certain micronutrient requirements.
Sure.
So the easiest diet is actually like steak and rice and, like a certain few vegetables and things here and there. Yeah, that are like micronutrient rich. So like, while I don't like it, it is factually true.
You accept it?
That you can lose weight and perform to a certain degree as a vegan and vegetarian. I don't like saying that.
Cosmo says, has anyone told you look exactly like Dr. Mike? We just said this earlier, like literally 2 hours ago. He was like, I've been told I look like Mike Israetel.
Mike Israetel, dude, like, and that's the hugest compliment for me. Like, for somebody to tell me that I look like Mike Israetel, which I don't think so, but thank you, because that does mean a lot.
Heavy bald.
It's just that I'm a heavy bald guy, and it's just it's the head wrinkles.
Yeah,
because
he's got the brain pushing up against the skin.
No, you know what it is his temporalis muscles are just so big they jut off the side of his head.
So it's head muscles.
Did you ever watch that? You ever watch that movie? You remember Double Dragon?
I don't think I ever watched it.
Bro, okay, back in the 90s. So like there's a thing is like there's this guy and he gets like super, I don't know what they give him. Like they give him like super soldier. They roid him out.
Yeah.
But he basically goes from being like scrawny and he has like a mohawk. This is like all I remember about Double Dragon is like at the end, like he's like the boss that they fight, and he has like these huge like temporalis muscles and like jaw muscles. And back then I didn't realize what it was. And I didn't think about it.
I'm
and
trying
I was
to
like,
imagine it.
How anatomically correct was this like 90s fantasy movie about like, kung fu, or like it's not about kung fu. I don't know what martial art they practice in Double Dragon.
Yeah.
It's probably karate, like everything else in the 90s.
Everything in the 90s was karate.
Everything in the 90s, all martial arts in the 90s were karate.
was riding the back of like the Karate Kid. Everyone wanted to see karate,
Yeah.
but nothing beats kung fu in my books.
Yeah. Our weekly reminder to watch 1997 Berserker anime.
Yeah, I'll get to it. It's on my list, and I think about it.
Yeah. I got a lot of things. So like you guys in the chat, y'all probably think this is cool as shit. I just got my girlfriend. Well, there are several components to this that might be considered cool as shit. I just got my girlfriend new boobs. Newer boobs.
Yeah.
Newer boobs.
2.0s.
Yeah, she got the 2.0s as soon as we released the Apex 2.0.
Yeah.
But during her recovery, I wish I could turn this camera around to show you guys, because like she's been like sitting in this little floaty, and she's just been jacking my laptop and screencasting it to our flat screen, and she's been playing Skyrim. She has become addicted, and she's not like a PC gamer girl. Like the closest that she's come to is like she would play like Pokemon Violet on like Nintendo Switch. So it's not that she's not a gamer girl. It's just that she's like, you know, up until now she's played like light games.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah,
I feel like
casual games.
I feel like when you pick up Skyrim,
you're edging closer to a little bit more.
You're edging. What do you mean you're edging? That's hardcore.
That's I don't want to have that argument. I don't think Skyrim it's not a hardcore RPG. There are like so many other more in-depth RPGs that exist. Skyrim is very new player friendly, because it does take a lot of the like intricacies and the character out of the character building process, which is like something Oblivion was really good about.
Okay, all right. So let's word it differently and see if you agree.
Oh, all right.
Like if you play Pokemon Go on your phone.
If you go from Pokemon Go.
If you play hold on. If you play Pokemon Go on your phone, are you a gamer?
For all intents and purposes.
Don't start with me.
It's a game. It's a game, and it's something you invest time into.
Pedantic about this shit. You're not a gamer if you play Pokemon Go. That's like saying you're a gamer if you play fucking what is that, like bubble popping shit that everybody plays?
Yeah. On their phone? Candy Crush.
Candy Crush.
Yeah.
You're not a gamer if you play Candy Crush.
Okay.
Bro, don't start with me. I swear to God.
I play Angry Birds and
but that's an extension of you being a gamer.
Sure. I guess. Yes, I do like Disco Elysium. I haven't gotten too deep into it, but a buddy of mine gifted it to me a while ago, and I got to put a few minutes into it, like 45 minutes or so. And I liked what I saw. I'm going to get back to it when I'm done with Helldivers. I don't know when that's going to be.
See, okay, so in my mind, like when you start playing PC games, like that's a different realm.
Yeah, I think so.
Like if you're like a PC gamer, like that's a different, you know, like you're part of the master race now.
Well,
like if you play a Nintendo Switch, like okay, you like games, but like, you know, that's like an entertainment console, and it's like very light on actual games with any like content, you know what I mean? Like they're not gonna have like Dark Souls and shit on the Nintendo Switch.
Right.
But
so Rocco, to address what you asked, has Curve started his PE journey? I'm actually happy to announce that I am now a full-time Massive Novelties employee as of today. Literally today.
Today was Curve's first full day. And he showed up late.
10 minutes late. There was traffic.
It was 13 minutes.
I live so far away, it's not even funny. Anyways.
Google Maps can predict traffic patterns.
Google Maps can suck my ass.
When it develops the capacity to do that, I think that
I'll be working from home a lot more.
We won't be watching podcasts. Nobody will be interested in PE anymore.
Yeah. So to speak to what you actually asked, I'm actually going to be starting a series that I'm going to be releasing.
What's it called?
Follow the Curve.
It's
It's gonna
so
be
clever. I like it's so fucking clever. Such a clever name.
I'm gonna be documenting my PE journey based on a prescriptive, I want to say, maybe not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
prescriptive
comfortable like saying that. Like,
methodology from Perv himself. Um,
so up until now, just to like clarify that statement or like to quantify that statement, maybe it's
yeah.
like I have until this moment hesitated um from like giving any type of prescriptive advice whatsoever. Like I don't give prescriptive advice. Like I won't tell anybody like extend for X amount of minutes using X amount of weight and then do this. Like I give people formulas like to calculate their fatigue and stuff like that. But for safety purposes and for learning purposes, because I think everybody has to like sort of figure their own shit out. Um, but really for liability purposes, like I have foregone the like I'm not going to coach anybody. Um, I I don't do it because I'm like so high and mighty that I don't have the time or anything like that. I have the time. It's just I have real concerns and about liability. Um, telling people what to do, but if I break Curve's dick, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a cool experiment because it's going to be sort of like the ultimate iteration of all of my ideologies.
All of your research,
Yeah.
all the fluff removed, all of the guesswork essentially taken out. Not necessarily the guesswork, but the methods that have kind of fallen to the wayside over the last several months as the theory has grown. Just going to be distilling it down to what has been successful and implementing that as my primary routine.
Yeah, so discrete task. Um there should be some safety protocols like interval pumping from 5 to 7 inches mercury and stuff like that for beginners. Yeah, I agree. And
I have pumped before.
I'm
Like
going to
that's not something
I don't think he's talking about for you.
Oh, okay. Well, for beginners in general. Okay.
No, he's saying like just kidding cuz like no, the thing is like um there's a lot of stuff going on Reddit right now, and I don't want to make a big stink about it. I don't want to make a big deal out of it or anything like that. If you know, you know. I'm just gonna say that like I'm just gonna be producing content and sort of minding my own business. I think that there have just been some things that have gone on Getting Bigger that have made me very uncomfortable. And I've told both Hink and BD that Curve and I are going to be starting our own PE subreddit.
Mm.
And right now we're sort of leaning towards calling it practical penis enlargement. And so what we want to do is we want to give people a little bit more direction, a little bit less of this sort of guesswork and formulaic sort of information that like happens on Getting Bigger, but a little bit more of the um, breaking into sort of the new generation ideas than like, you know, say a Jelk for You or something like that. Um, so we are going to form our own subreddit, and it's either going to be PE for Dummies, which is the video series that I do,
Mm-hmm.
Or it's going to be practical penis enlargement. And on that, um, so why not use the Massive Novelties subreddit since it's already established? Because Massive Novelties subreddit is a company subreddit, and we don't want the subreddit to be like, we really want the subreddit to be agnostic. Like, I'm not going to tell everybody to use an extender. I'm just going to say, like, these are the, protocols and principles um about penis enlargement and things like that. But again, we want to be, pretty agnostic. We don't we just don't want to be dogmatic about stuff, and that, I don't think we're going to avoid looking like we're just trying to sell our own shit if we just try to push all of this stuff on Massive Novelties.
Yeah.
Plus, I think Massive Novelties exists as it's like sort of an insider club for people that want to know what's going on with Massive Novelties and stuff like that. And like, it's like a newsletter.
Yeah.
It's like, when we put stuff back in stock, we let people know there.
Definitely geared more towards our products and questions related to our products, whereas a new subreddit would give us an opportunity to have a place to deposit our information and to discuss information related to PE, which is completely separate from the products that we sell. Like, it is going to be its own entity.
Yeah. That's funny. You can call it Biggest Dickus PE.
Biggest Dickus.
When I told Beatty, he was like, why don't you just call it Getting Even Bigger? And I was like,
that's petty. And
it's not petty because he suggested it.
Yeah.
And like, he understands why I'm doing it. It's like, like I said, there's just a lot of stuff going on the subreddit right now, and I don't want to be a part of any drama whatsoever. Like, especially like bringing, now that Curve is on full time, it's like, I just feel like we have shit to do.
Yeah.
And
getting biggest is just very funny.
Yeah, getting biggest. I think that's actually what he said.
Yeah.
I think that's actually what Beatty said. He might have said getting biggest.
That's really funny.
But yeah, so practical PE, I think we're just gonna take everything that I've tried to put together in PE for Dummies, and we're just going to lay it out in a really simple format, like, here's what to do, or like, here are the, guidelines for PE. Also, another reason that we wanted to, Rocco, the other reason that we wanted to like separate it from Massive Novelties as a subreddit is because Massive Novelties is a company affiliated subreddit, which in no uncertain way makes the company liable for recommendations that we make on there in terms of like how to use our products and stuff like that. And again, one of the reasons that I don't make prescriptive recommendations is for liability reasons. So yeah.
Speaking to discrete task, liability is the main reason that we don't push Massive Novelties workout guidelines. It's just a problem we'd like to avoid. And so by keeping them separate, we're distancing the two.
I agree with, so Discrete Task said, it's fine to own and push your products and own workouts, guidelines, let getting bigger be open source about PE. I agree. And that's not a disagreement that I'm having with, Hink or Beatty. Like, that's just this is just a tactical choice to sort of, I guess, own our own subreddit so that we can, I guess, ensure the narrative moves in the direction that we want it to. Getting bigger gets a little bit toxic for me, and I'll be like super candid, like, it's really bad for my mental health if I'm on there too much. Like, I get like super anxious if I have to spend like hours in a day on getting bigger. I mean, I don't know how many of you guys like know, but like, what is it? We're in April, May, June, July, August. So yeah, I guess about
8 months ago.
Yeah, I guess about 8 months ago, I had to just completely remove myself from getting bigger, and like basically Amber and Curve were running the business for a few weeks because I was just like getting fucking panic attacks, just going on getting bigger because I don't think people realize that like I'm an actual human and that Hank is a human and BD is a human. And it fucking sucks when you go on there and like somebody is talking shit about you and they're just like, this person's a piece of shit and I wish that they would just like die and stuff. And you're like, what the fuck did I actually do to you? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, but it really does. It sucks ass. My face looks so fat. Jesus Christ.
It's not that fat.
Bro, it's pretty fat. It's fine. I'm cutting now though.
Oh, Jesus.
Um,
Um,
but
sorry, Woodley makes a good point. Miles Woodley there makes a good point. Just having a subreddit where
what do you say?
we talk about science and theories and getting away from the posts where it's like, what's the best dick a girl would like?
Yeah.
That's not really what
So
we're
we want to move away from that.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that we're going to, we're going to appoint people basically to, I plan to make a video to address every stupid question that you've ever seen on getting bigger.
Goddamn.
And there's basically going to be a compendium where it's like, instead of, addressing those questions with like, go read the wiki or something like that, it'll literally be like, go watch this video.
Yeah.
And if you disagree with it, then that's fine. But like, we're just going to post numbers. We're literally going to post numbers. We're literally going to post studies. And we're not going to have these fucking circle jerk arguments where it's like, what dick size do women prefer? Because it's like, well, women aren't a thing. Like, so it's like, what color do women like best? It's like, well,
pink.
They have.
No, I'm just kidding.
Exactly. But that's the fucking thing is that they think that there is an answer.
There's
They're
no
like,
answer.
Every time, oh god damn,
women are not a monolith.
Fucking hate, bro. The phrase that I never had heard this phrase before I got into PE, and it's a term that I hear way too much now. And like every time I fucking see it, I throw up in my mouth a little bit, and I just want to like. I want to like geolocate whoever made the post and just go and like punch them in the head until they just like realize their stupidity. But like I want to do it in love.
I want to know the phrase.
The Goldilocks zone.
I think that was first coined by Isaac Asimov.
Get the fuck out of here.
Describe the placement of a planet in a solar system relative to the sun that is ideal for human occupation.
Are you serious?
I'm not joking. I don't know if it was Asimov. It could have been one of the other science
oh my god,
fiction guys.
But... fuck off with that. Okay, but here's the thing: is that like that is quantifiable.
Yeah.
You're talking about a planet being able to spawn life. And so you're like, what's the Goldilocks zone? Like, how far away or close to a bright star does a, cosmic body need to, be? Like, what's the Goldilocks zone for life to occur? Okay, you can't ask that about dick sizes.
No, you're right. You're 100% right.
And I'm just like, I'm fucking sick of like...
I hate that phrase was co-opted for PE and for other things. Like there are other...
I just want to start trolling people. I just want to be like 9 inches.
9 inches is the Goldilocks.
Just want to be like, you want to know the truth? You want to know what the Goldilocks zone is? It's 9 inches.
Jesus Christ. Most women I know are scared of 9 inches. If they were to see it like on a scale, they'd be like, no, thank you.
Dude, nobody wants to hear that shit, though.
I know.
Nobody wants to hear... Nobody on any penis enlargement sub wants to hear that, like, most of the sizes that guys want, most girls would be, like, cautious with.
Yeah.
Or potentially completely avoidant of.
This I know.
I know you know, but that's the thing is, it's like, we live in the real world where... Like, I don't know, dude. Sometimes I think it's just a bunch of, like, 13-year-olds. Sometimes I really think that getting bigger and like a joke for you is just a bunch of 13-year-olds that have like never actually had sex.
You know?
Because like sometimes you literally still see people that are like, they're like, how can I compete? My last girlfriend had a boyfriend with a 14-inch penis. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've seen those posts.
I
You've
100%
fucking
have.
seen them.
I
You
know
know
I have.
exactly what I'm talking about.
The answer is you can't. You can't compete.
Yeah, you can't. Anyways,
That's just not real.
so
It's crazy.
discrete task. Personally, I happily ordered the Apex 2.0 and searched Reddit and watch a lot of your info, just like your latest video about cups, but there's a loophole about not getting any blisters, for example.
Like an absence of information related to avoiding blisters.
Yeah,
I think
what do
that's
you
what he
mean?
means.
What do
I
you
think
mean
that's
like
what he means. Not a loophole, but just a dearth of information regarding blister avoidance.
Hmm.
But didn't you just make a video recently
Oh, I
about?
thought you were about to say something that you shouldn't say.
Didn't you just make a video recently about water cup and water method
That's what he's talking about.
and taping?
Yeah. So taping and the water method. We have so many secret projects going on at Massive
Yeah.
Novelties that we have to like shut the fuck up sometimes,
Yeah.
like because we can't say stuff.
Blister avoidance.
So you're talking about blister avoidance. Okay, dude. So like taping and using the water trick should both be methods of blister avoidance. They should both be blister avoidance. Both of them like really actually work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that taping is fucking tedious and can be very painful. But the water method can be difficult. Like, I admit this as the person who, like, I get shit on by somebody every time I say I invented it, but like, I know I didn't invent it.
Yeah.
I'm just not gonna worry that much about saying that phrase.
Every time.
I know for a fact that I was not the first person to put a fluid in a fucking dick cup. Like, I know people have tried everything. So when I say that I invented the water trick, I use that very lightly.
I invented the milk trick. It's where you use milk instead of water.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, I experimented a lot with different I experimented a lot with different liquids.
Yeah.
I didn't use milk.
Well,
but like
missed out.
But water-based lube was
Water-based
one of them.
lubricant seems like a great one.
It's not that great.
No.
No.
I guess because it forms air pockets really easily.
Here's the weird thing about the water method is that the water isn't actually, anybody who's ever tried to have sex in a pool or a shower knows this. Water isn't actually a lubricant.
Oh, I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Buddy.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, water isn't actually a lubricant.
Yeah.
And so
and neither is.
You know what else isn't?
Neither is Head and Shoulders shampoo.
Oh, God. I don't even. Like, there's parts of me that wants to know.
Oh, that's just a jack off joke. That's all. But
Dude,
continue.
you want to hear a jack off joke that's like actually a real life story?
Yeah.
Like, somehow. It wasn't even a jack off. Like, I just went to go and piss. And I remember being like really pretty young. I loved the smell of going over to my like great grandmother's and great grandfather's house.
Okay.
And the smell I like eventually learned was like Bengay or like Icy Hot.
Ooh.
You know, because they were both old and
Yeah,
shit, and they would use that shit everywhere. And so like I eventually learned that like I was like, oh, that smells like so good.
It does smell good.
And so like I put that shit on my hands like lotion or something like that. And I like literally like, I don't know, like later that day went to go and pee. And because I'm uncircumcised, like I have to like pull my foreskin back.
Right.
And
can't relate.
Bro, God.
Just the sensitive.
I
plus
never
the Bengay.
wanted I like remember having thoughts about like that they were gonna have to remove my penis.
Yeah. That can't be worse. Or it might be worse. I don't know. I've chomped jalapenos and had the residue on my fingers before and like touched the head of my dick and therefore my urethra. And that's like very soft, moist tissue.
Dude, that's
And when
it's
I say
rough.
burn, like Lord Almighty.
Dude.
Um, yeah, and EH actually got to where I was thinking with what Discreet was saying is that maybe your cup size might not be appropriate if you're still getting blisters, taping, and using the water method.
Yeah.
Like, because you should be filling the cup.
Yeah, so like take some Vaseline. The Vaseline, I guess that is the first time that I had shown that I had done that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that just shows me that I need to redo a lot of my old videos. People have been asking me to like redo the 2-inch routine video.
Yeah.
Because like I have changed so much since then and people don't
Definitely
realize,
upload.
but like it's like little things like that. Like, dude, just take like a little bit of petroleum jelly and put it on the inside of your cup and then like swab it just right around the fucking like once you roll up the sleeve,
Mm-hmm.
you just like swab a little bit of petroleum jelly right there on the sleeve and on the inside. Instant seal, perfect seal every time.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's amazing. And like, but again, like I was saying, water isn't a lubricant. And if you do use a lubricant, weirdly enough, like if you use like a water-based lube or something like that, because you have to, because you're using a silicone sleeve, bro, like I would go to put fucking tension and like my foreskin would literally just like creep into the cup.
Ooh.
Like it would literally like go inside, and I was
Yeah.
like, "What the fuck is happening here?" And it was because I had no friction.
Right. Huh.
So, after all the things that I tried, because I tried like grapeseed oil and like other things, I found that like water is actually just the
Do you ever do like coconut oil?
Mhm.
Yeah. That seems like
Yeah, the coconut oil had the same problems, but like that's the thing is like the real issue with coconut oil was I was like, you're gonna fuck a valve up really fast.
You think so?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's just so
Or
heat.
because you're gonna prop it
It's
open.
so heat sensitive. I would think that if any amount of like heat would fix that problem, but maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, then I mean I'm just thinking like you'd probably have to like run it under some water or something like that to like
Sure.
get it to work before you. Anyways. Um, let me see.
Rocco had a question about massage. Different subject.
Yeah, I saw that. So, massages. My wife has bad forward head posture and has a neck hump. She gets tension headaches, and I'll rub her neck. However, my thumbs give out, and I don't have the endurance. Okay, so two things about forward head posture. So, like, forward head posture actually has little to nothing to do with the neck musculature in the back. And so, like, you can't blame your traps. You can't blame, like, your spinal erectors. It actually has to do with these muscles that connect here behind your ears and go down to the middle of your collarbones. These are called your sternocleidomastoid muscles. You can see them really prominently when somebody turns their head. It's that big muscle that forms a line. So it's responsible for opposite side rotation. So whatever side you rotate your head to, the opposite side muscle is responsible for that. And so rubbing the muscles from the back of the ear down to the insertion of the clavicle, those sternocleidomastoid muscles, rubbing those is actually the way to reverse forward head posture. Also, you can have her do this really simple exercise. Like, I'll just turn my head and show you. You just like literally, you use like a couple of fingers on your chin and you just like push in and pull your head back. And like, if you do it right, you should feel it right here. Like, you should feel it all in your suboccipitals. Yeah. So, like, you just push your head in, use your fingers. You only need a little bit of pressure.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
You feel it like right at the base of your skull.
Right here.
So at the base of your skull, those are called your suboccipitals, and those are the other muscles that are responsible for forward head posture. Now, the last thing that you talk about is you talk about a neck hump. Okay, so a neck hump is a little bit more in terms of like your trapezius and your spinal erectors and stuff like that. The prescription that I used to use for my patients and what I actually used for my girlfriend. You remember Amber used to have, do you remember she used to have a really big neck hump?
Yeah, I do.
But like, I think that ties in with like the fact that she used to be really obese and like, you know, now that she's lost weight and she's got, you know, fake boobs and she feels hot and stuff, she like doesn't stand like a fucking goblin anymore. Yeah. But like, but Rocco, yeah, like put a foam roller right under that area, like right under that rib hump, and just have her lay on the floor and have her just like put her arms up over her head and like lay her head back. And you just put the foam roller right under the rib hump, and you literally just like relax. And you do that for about 5 minutes every day. And within like literally within a week, you'll see that bitch flatten completely out.
Don't call his wife a bitch.
I mean
The
the
hump.
hump.
The hump is the bitch. Sorry, Rocco.
I would
What do you have to
never.
say about his thumbs giving out? You want to show him your freak thumbs?
Everybody's thumbs give out um because you're so like as a soft tissue therapist, one of the things that I don't think people realize is that like I use my entire fucking body
Yeah.
to work on people. So I'm working on people at my hips. So like even right now, like if I go to massage the back of Amber's neck and she's like right in front of me and I go to do that,
Yeah.
like my hands still get tired. That
Okay.
shit's hard.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to put her on a massage table and actually like,
Push
use
into it. Yeah. That makes
yeah.
sense.
That's the thing too, is it's harder because I'm having to do Amber's lymphatic massages right now.
Yeah.
It's harder to do a light massage than it is to do a hard massage.
She said you've been going hard on her too, like in the wake of her in her recovery,
Mm-hmm.
and she said that it's like
Yeah.
been super beneficial for the healing process.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't know though, like on the gauge of like going hard,
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on her at like a 3 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
It's just it's very intense. She's super bruised and shit right now.
Yeah, she
so
told me
like
her legs were like yellow and blue.
yeah,
and stuff.
she's like she looks beat up.
Yeah.
So yeah, Rocco, that's what I suggest. Discrete task. Is it also about set duration and tension? You're talking about blisters, I'm assuming, right? So yeah, it is absolutely about set duration and tension, and also make sure you're not using too much, like not make sure you're not using like heat on. That's one of the reasons that we made the Massive Novelties heating pad so that you can fold it down. Because if you heat your glands, you will get a blister.
Mm-hmm.
Because soft tissue delaminates easier when you heat it. It's one of the reasons why we use heat in soft tissue therapy to begin with, is because it causes delamination of the tissue. So, and not having enough water in your cushion. So, are all of these mandatory, or else you get a blister? Yeah. Like if you're gonna use the water trick, like you need to have like a water cushion. You don't want an air pocket though. I don't know what you mean there. You want a water cushion. You want like a, water separation of like 1/8 of an inch. Just like, it doesn't even need to be that big. It just needs to be, it depends on your anatomy. Like if the top of your glands is really flat, then you may need more. If the top of your glands is like very, very anatomically, or like if it's shaped like the cup, then you probably won't need it a lot at all. So all of these are mandatory. Yes. If you want to be as safe as possible. I'm not going to say like you're automatically going to get a blister. But yeah.
I don't know anything about the Phallosan Forte.
I'm reading. Searching right now. Total Man Cups.
I can't read.
Okay. Let me see. What's the max tension you get out of a Phallosan Forte? I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I want to say, don't quote me on this, I want to say it is 6 pounds. But again, don't quote me on that.
We can go into some questions from the Reddit.
Yeah, we can do questions from Reddit. If you guys in chat have any more questions, feel free to tune in, because we'll always give our live viewers priority.
Carl asks, can a decon break be supercharged so that tunica breakdown goes a little faster? Or is don't do PE for a while the best we have?
Yeah, don't do PE for a while is the best that we have.
Okay.
I think massage is fine. I think it would
Mm-hmm.
be fine for people to do the tunica release technique. I would think that maybe like bundled stretching and stuff would be fine.
Yeah.
But like the hardest thing, like the thing that people don't want to hear the most is like, just stop touching your dick.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because like I get it, like it's hard,
Yeah.
but if you want the tissues to become deconditioned, you just have to stop. Like it's no different than deconditioning any other tissue. It's like
Mm-hmm.
if you were trying to like atrophy your biceps and somebody's like, but can I just like, do 100 reps with like some Campbell's chicken noodle soup cans? And it's like, you fucking could, but like doing nothing is going to help your tissues to reset better anyways. But Carl, if you're watching this, like, dude, you don't need oh my God, look at this. Beatty himself
in the house.
actually showed up to watch one of our podcasts. But like, yeah, if Carl, if you're watching, dude, you literally just need to like not do anything. And I know people don't want to hear that, but it's like literally just a decon should be just stop training. Like that's the maximum. And I want to say that like you get, because I know he asked something about duration in one of them.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get most of your results. You'll get the bulk of your results by just not doing anything for like 8 weeks. And what I'm referencing specifically is one study where they showed that like um collagenous tissue loses most of its condition, or a majority of its conditioning, something close to like 80% within 8 weeks.
All right.
So yeah.
So to your knowledge, is there any significant research that suggests vibrations do anything for tissue growth?
So somebody just asked about the fallback.
Yeah.
And so I think this is a good thing. I'll just go ahead and pull this bitch out.
Oh yeah. This man, he's been in the shed today.
This is what I was working on today. I haven't cleaned it yet, so don't bitch at me, but I was literally just using it, fucking 45 minutes ago. So, what was the question?
It was is there any significant research that suggests vibrations do anything for tissue growth?
Yes, there's absolutely significant research, and I think somebody in there actually goes into depth and asks about the frequency, and thus far,
It was Carl.
okay, so thus far, I have not read anything. And like, dude, I went back and like pulled out some of my old textbooks about this because I have not seen anything thus far that suggests anything above 60 hertz is beneficial.
Okay.
Which is interesting because that is approximately where the owner of I don't know if it's fallback or if it's fallback. Yeah, it looks familiar, BD, because it's the same exact one that you bought. You're the one that gave me the link. But yeah, I have seen research that shows anything from 15 hertz to 60 hertz.
It's a relatively low range.
Yes. In these studies, I was not able to make any comparisons. They didn't necessarily compare. It was just showing that there was benefit.
Right.
And most of it has to do with, like, this is going to be a little bit deeper than I want to go on this podcast, but most of it has to do with why, why fascia acts the way that it does when we treat it in a certain way. So there is there is an acid in our fascia called hyaluronic acid, and the concentration of hyaluronic acid, whether it's higher or lower, determines the viscosity of fascia. Vibration is one of the easiest ways to normalize and lower hyaluronic acid concentrations. And so basically that makes our tissue turn into a more gelatinous sort of tissue. So not only does it have that mechanical effect, but vibration causes a strain. It causes a stressor on the cells. And so our proprioceptors, our cells' mechanoreceptors, they perceive that, and it triggers stem cells. And so all of a sudden, collagen fiber gets, like it triggers stem cells to produce more collagen.
Does that lead to a toughening of the collagen?
Not necessarily, just a proliferation.
Okay. Does the vibration of the fascia, is that the change in hyaluronic acid levels, is that due to dispersion of the hyaluronic acid, or is it just like, where does it go?
Where
like
does the hyaluronic acid go?
When the levels in your fascia change?
Okay, so most any kind of local change, like if you have something like hyaluronic acid or another like chemical or compound, it can only really do two things. It can break down into another chemical, or it can like basically escape via the lymphatic system. And in this case, hyaluronic acid just escapes via the lymphatic system.
I gotcha.
But normalizing the hyaluronic acid concentrations leads to a mechanical softening of the fascia, and that in turn leads to the cells being able to like be, I don't want to say like traumatized more, but like stimulated more.
Manipulated more?
No, just stimulated more.
Stimulated.
And that stimulation of the mechanoreceptors, the pressure sensors of the cells, like the cells literally just feel the pressure of the vibration and the stretch and the strain. And that's what we call proprioception.
Okay.
And so when they feel that, so like this is the real reason PE happens. Like it used to be thought that like you're literally like pulling a cell into like two cells or something like that, like the forced mitosis idea or something like that. Or it was thought that like you tore a cell and the cell repaired itself by cell division. That's not what happens.
Okay.
So anyways, yes, there are really some decent pieces out there about vibration and why it works. And the thing is, this is not an unprecedented vibration for me is not an unprecedented concept, because we've used vibration in soft tissue work forever.
Yeah. I've been to many, like Dr. The guy I used to see over on St. Andrews, he would pull out like what effectively looked like a belt sander and would just on me.
Yeah.
And it worked to alleviate my hip pain or whatever it was I was feeling at the time. So
that's the thing though too, is that like if you realize that, then you realize like vibration is a two-edged sword. Yeah. And this is the next biggest thing that a lot of people are going to find out with like doing their own DIYs and stuff, is they're going to figure out that like you can cause down regulation, but you can also cause up regulation. So I have
line to walk.
Yeah, I have yet to see anything that suggests anything over 60 hertz causes down regulation.
Okay.
You literally trigger different cells in your body. Okay. If I am touching my skin light and slow like this, I'm literally using different cells to feel that as if I press hard and rub fast. Those are two different cells that actually feel that.
Okay.
So deep feel, like deep pressure and like stress and strain, we sense those with like what we call our Pacinian corpuscles. Whereas like light touch and slow touch, or like light feathery touch, like you're messing with somebody's hairs or something, those are called our Ruffini nerve endings. And so they cause different things. You can cause different results based on how you communicate those. So slow and deep causes a completely different musculoskeletal reaction than deep and fast. And so that's the thing, is that like a lot of people are about to fuck around with this like DIY fallback stuff, and they're they're gonna they're gonna fuck around and find out.
Well, that's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Fuck around and find out. And I figure the more research we have going on the subject, the more answers we'll have.
I think it's
Because
good.
I mean, it's highly experimental, which is what I love about it. And
Yeah.
I just don't know. I mean, it's not something I'm going to dive into before having a little bit more understanding of
Bro,
what the
'cause
outcomes could be.
yeah. Well, I mean, it's also not something that you need to do.
Oh, not
Like
at all.
you're at the point where like you're like the gym novice that like, you know, when you first go to the gym, it's like you can squat and your fucking arms will get bigger.
Yeah.
Like if you just do squats, your lats will get bigger.
Yeah.
If you do squats, your biceps will get bigger. If you're new enough, you know, like squatting will make your fucking neck bigger. And so that's the thing, is like when you're new enough, anything works. This is one of those late game strategies that I think that like yeah, BD said something to this extent. I really do think that I really do think that intense vibration may have the capacity to stunt growth.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it may have the potential to put you in a position where you may build up tissue that may like, I'm not going to say stop you from growing. I'm just going to say make it more difficult.
Hinder.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
So like, yeah, you're like, you don't need,
I'm not
you don't
planning
need
to.
nothing.
No, I don't need no help from nobody. No, I just don't need the vibrations. We have a good one. How to troubleshoot plateaus after the basics. So this is for, let's say, an intermediate to advanced PE practitioner.
Mm.
Troubleshooting plateaus after the basics. For example, sessions are 10 minutes of strain plus 30 to 40 minutes of fatigue at 7 to 8 pounds, followed by five 2-minute sets of pumping, either daily or on average 4 to 5 sessions a week, consistently for 2 months. No improvement on bone press, erect, or stretch flaccid lengths.
Yeah.
The attempts that were made were increasing session duration, incrementing the tension, and no changes have been observed, and a strain rate of 2.5% is being maintained, with no gains being realized. How would you address that kind of stalling out?
So if he's consistently getting 2.5% and not seeing any gains, like I guess the one thing that I would ask is like, is he not, you can't rely on your bone press erect length all of the time. Like, so bone press stretch flaccid is what I would encourage him to like be tracking.
I got robo voice.
You got robo voice?
BD says so. God.
I don't know why that's happening.
Did it just start, or has it been happening this whole time?
Well, I don't know. I'm sure he'll answer that.
Yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
Oh, damn, they're saying it's echo. Oh, okay. Hold on. If it just started, we can fix that.
Was you fucking with your microphone?
Is it my microphone or is it his microphone?
Both.
Okay. Oh, damn.
All right,
Okay.
give us a second. Let's
Yeah.
see if we can
Hold
fix
on,
that.
because I can fix it. Oh, it was both? Is it not happening now? Is it not happening now?
No, he's just saying it was both before we stop talking.
Okay. All right. All right. Sorry about that interruption. For those of you watching, did that fix it, or do we still have an echo?
Need to know. Do we echo? What is it? 15-second delay.
Yeah, something like that.
Ridiculous.
Echo's still there. Okay. I can fix this. Hold on. All right.
Check. Check, check. We still echo?
All right, guys. We just fixed it. I think we fixed it. How is it now? Better?
Good to go.
Okay, cool. Where were we?
Troubleshooting plateaus. 2.5% strain being maintained.
So if he's hitting 2.5% strain and he's not gaining, then I guess what I would say.
Nope, not good to go.
Is mine echoing? Really?
It's talking to this. Turn yours off.
That's fine. So if he is not gaining, I would just say like he needs to track his bone press stretch flaccid length, because that would be the biggest thing. So like, does he say if he's tracking that or not? Because sometimes you can literally like not see erect length gains, but you'll see bone press stretch flaccid length.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the reasons that can happen is because you may be creating a gap where you need more endothelial tissue, you need more blood holding tissue. So like he's creating, it's like, I guess it's like, like he has this like sausage tubing that's like 9 inches, but he only actually has enough like filling to fill like 7 inches. Does that make sense? So you can stretch definitely the tubing out. So yeah, I think that may just be one thing that I would suggest. Something that's always worked for me for plateau busting, and is the bundled extending. That's one of the reasons that I made the Frankenstender. That's one of the reasons that I like popularized. I'm not gonna say invented, because I'll get slain over that. But that's one of the reasons that I popularized bundled extending, is because like that was a massive plateau breaker for me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So yeah,
throw some bundles in there.
Yeah, I would say do some bundling. Look into some tunica malleability work. You can do tunica release technique, bundled extending. But you need more restorative type stuff. You basically need to work on the quality of the texture of your tissue, and you may need to do some blood flow restriction training to build up the actual blood holding endothelial tissue. So,
Okay.
next.
With the emergence of retention theory, how would you say, or would you say that ADS is worth reevaluating? And how would it fit into an extending and pumping routine?
Yeah, somebody said something about the ADS earlier. I can't remember. I can't remember what, who it was, but like, yes, I think that ADS is worth looking at. I think it's definitely worth like revisiting. I don't want to encourage people to use an ADS all day. And so I think that's one of the reasons that like I like the BD coined the term retention, because like I told him about the experiments that I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to call it like a extender sleeve or like a all day sleeve or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But he was like, you don't want to impress upon people the idea that they need to use this all day. And I was like, yeah, you're absolutely right. And so he started using the word retention, and so I really like retention. Some people call it like anti-turtling or something like that, but I think that it's like the goal is basically to combine it with some sort of extension or some sort of like uh heavier type work.
Mm-hmm.
So like hanging or extending for a short interval of time, so like 60 to 90 minutes, with a moderate weight, and then basically retaining your erect length. So we're operating under the idea that basically your tissues are trainable. And what we want to do is the more times in a day that we can get your penis to its erect length, whether that's by getting regular erections, by extending, these like feeder sets pumping, or just using like a retention sleeve or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
the more times that we can teach your tissue to get into that position, the sooner it's going to remember. And the more like cellular proliferation you will have in that position. And it falls under the category of like fascial plasticity. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like, it's like if you have bad posture, the more times that you like stand up straight and like stretch and like move all of this tissue into like the more proper position, the sooner that you're actually going to have good posture. Does that make sense?
That does make sense from like my own personal experience with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Previously you mentioned you've created a new method / device to replace vacuum bells and eliminate blisters. Can you give more info on that?
Yeah, I think you mentioned this last time, and I have no idea what you're talking about.
I think I know what he's referring to because we've alluded to it a few times, but the answer is no, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is a thing, but it's not like replacing
It doesn't replace
vacuum bells.
Yeah.
It's a variation of a type of vacuum bell. But again, I've said this before. Oh, yeah. Well, I have to be, because that's the thing, is like a lot of this stuff I have to be very vague, because there are people that are not good at actually inventing shit on their own, and they're just really, really good at taking my ideas to China, and being able to like actually outpace me and making my ideas get to market. So I've really just learned my lesson about shutting the fuck up and not saying certain things, because there are people that just know how to make things happen faster than me, because they outsource them to, Chinese factories. So, I do know what you're talking about. I can't give out any more info on it, and that's going to be a while, honestly. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what would happen if I mentioned it, or if I like explained the concept. I've gone on record saying this before though, like, I like Totalman cups. I think that Totalman cups are really awesome. Chinese cups, honestly, for what they are and for how much they cost, like they're amazing. So it's going to be really, really hard for us at Massive Novelties to actually make something that is both affordable and that is actually innovative enough that it merits being a new product. Because the last thing that I'm going to do is just create another vacuum bell.
There's plenty of those out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom, 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 boom. What's the best way to condition your glands?
The best way to condition your glands, in my experience, has been pumping.
Just pumping. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, like seriously, I think anytime that I've ever taken a break, if I take a break and go right back into it, I'm almost guaranteed that I'll get a blister.
Yeah.
But if I take a break and then I take like a week and I just pump, then I go back into it, I'm fine. So if you mean like conditioning yourself, because like in the very beginning, like I pumped all the time because I just thought it was fun and I enjoyed it, and I never got blisters. But like I just really enjoyed pumping. So yeah.
Boom.
JM. So JM says, so I have a 2-inch cylinder. I completely fill out the chamber by the end of the session. Am I restricting potential growth by not going up a cylinder and trying to fill that out? Would I go to a 2.25? So, potentially, I don't know. You didn't really mention how long your session is or how high the pressure is. So like, there's a difference between expansion and edema. So yeah, I I personally wouldn't go from a 2 to a 2.25. I would go from a 2 to a 2.125. So yeah. Uh so if you've been taping for a while, um how would you condition your glands if you didn't pump? You would literally just wear a vacuum bell with like starting with really light weights and just very like I would probably use more time than weight. Um, honestly, like I would probably start with like, I mean, that sounds like silly, but like I would probably start with like a pound and just work on that for like an hour or two and just like slowly, slowly ramp that up.
This is a good question, I think. There's been a lot of discussion and anecdotal evidence about using heat to improve gains, with the idea being that heat makes the penis more malleable and open to change. Following that logic, should we use ice at the end of a session to solidify the tunica?
No, so this is a stupid ass idea. This is like some Kerpa like hanging with fire. This is like some old school Thunder's Place bullshit. And like the idea is like they're using they're using materials principles to talk about organic tissues. So like they're sort of it's like, oh, if you heat if you heat taffy up, it becomes like super stretchy, and then you're just gonna like flash freeze it so that it doesn't contract. Like that's not how your dick works. Your dick is made of organic tissues.
Right.
So the only thing that happens is like heat warms the fascia, it normalizes hyaluronic acid concentrations, and so it gets the tunica out of the way. It lessens that as the limiting factor for how much pressure and strain we can actually put on the cells.
Okay.
So like your cells aren't actually in a session, your cells aren't actually like getting longer. You're not actually growing in a session at all. It's just like going to the gym. Like you don't get any bigger or stronger going to the gym.
Right.
You actually get weaker and smaller. like it's what happens in between, which is why I think that like recovery methods are going to be the next biggest thing.
Yeah.
So no, you can't flash freeze your dick into an elongated state.
It'd be cool though.
It would, and PE forms wouldn't exist because you would literally just hang fucking 15 pounds off of your dick one good time and
Hit it with the hairdryer and then
yeah,
dip it in a bucket of ice
dip it
water.
in a bucket of ice water and be like, 9-inch long dong, done.
Pretty good.
Yeah, period. End of question. So he said, what's up with blisters? Are they supposed to be kind of part of the journey? You'll eventually get some and heal from them, a bit like edema and lymph. Just seems like part of the learning curve. You will learn your individual propensity towards getting blisters, and then you'll learn basically what works best for you to avoid blisters.
That's a really good name. The learning curve.
That is, yeah, you're gonna use that now.
That's really solid.
So yeah, I'm not gonna say they're inevitable because like some people will go through PE and just like they won't get any. But again, it's very highly dependent upon a lot of different factors, like what methodologies you subscribe to. Like, are you hanging really heavy? Are you like, trying to do like more lightweight, long wear optimizing? Are you using heat kind of things like that? So, I don't want to say it's inevitable or like hopeless or anything like that. I don't want to make that seem like the case. But yes, you do have to just sort of learn your propensity for getting them. So yeah. So Miles Woodley says, "Hey Perv, my BPSFL is 5% more than my BPEL, so I decided to change to girth work. When looking at the charts, it says for 4.5 girth, I should use a 1.65 tube. Right now I have 1.5 and 1.75. Well, either of those will do then, because they're both larger than that. The real factor there is going to be comfort, and I find that I have a really easy. I'm really prone to um like sucking extra tissue, and I can feel like my vas deferens, like I can actually feel my vas sucking up into the pump whenever I use a tube that is too big. So I don't like that kind of stuff. Um, what's your thoughts on using the tattoo waterproof tape that was mentioned and getting bigger instead of micropore tape? Yeah, I think it's absolutely a viable option. Anything that's going to provide, um, anything that's going to provide a little bit of a barrier, that basically acts like another layer of your skin is going to help. So yeah, I'll make another semi-vague announcement and say that Massive Novelties has on the way um, some products that
You better watch
may
out.
end your blister woes and worries. I really do think so, honestly. It's something that we're working on a patent for right now, and we're trying to get it, intellectually protected. But we are working on something right now that I think is going to end your worries about blisters and stuff.
Right on.
So yeah,
That is it.
that's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, unless anybody has any pressing questions or concerns, yeah, so he says that the tattoo tape works really well and is way less awful during removal. That's the thing, is that like I've heard, I've used 3M and like NextCare transport tape and like all of that shit. Like I've used like the paper tape and all sorts of stuff, and like, man, Jesus God, taking that shit off is worse than like getting a blister. I feel like sometimes I don't understand how I don't even understand how people tape regularly. That's what's crazy to me.
With like medical tape or whatever.
With like the 3D transport
Oh, the
tape and like
3D.
NextCare tape and
Yeah.
stuff like that, bro.
It's just that I don't know.
I don't get it.
Yeah.
But like I said, you guys can just sit around and wonder what our secret project is, but I think that we have successfully found an answer to blisters for everybody.
Rocco, I don't think you would want to use an ace bandage if you're getting it wet and like it's sticking to your sensitive skin. Like that's not really viable either.
No, because an ace bandage isn't going to stick to your skin, so it's not going to act like another layer of your skin.
Yeah.
It has to be something that adheres to it, um, or at the very least, like suctions to it, which is why some people find that they can use like toe shields or like the Glands caps. Bro, the worst blisters I've ever gotten have been from those Glands caps. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I know. Yeah.
It's exactly like it's exactly like sleeve material,
Yeah, but it's just
but it's shaped like a
little
yeah,
toboggan.
yeah. The worst blisters of my life
Yeah, it's because there's no
have been
perfect. It's
from
not a
that.
perfect seal.
It can be a perfect seal, but that's the issue is that it's like I don't know why.
Uh,
I have no idea why that was like terrible for me.
I don't know what you would consider reusable, Rocco. If it's an adhesive that's sticking to your skin, it's going to wear down over time, probably after one use, especially if it gets wet.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that you don't want something that's going to have any degradation from use 1 to use 2.
Yeah.
So, if you are looking for something reusable, then the Glands cap that we're talking about is the only thing that I can think of that is reusable. But like, yeah, what he's saying, it gets
Yeah.
a bit of air at the tip,
There's
and
going
that's
to be
why.
a minor reservoir that's going to lead to blistering.
That is like
That's
literally exactly what happened was
yeah.
I took the fucking Glands cap off. So
Just don't like that.
it's basically a swimmer's cap.
Swimmer's cap,
It's
yeah.
basically a swimmer's cap for your dick.
But it doesn't fit nearly as snugly.
Yeah. So, uh, but yeah. All right, guys. Um,
Thanks for tuning in.
yeah, thanks for
We're
tuning in. Thanks for
so glad
watching.
to be back, and we're gonna keep it up.
Yeah, be on the lookout for a lot more content from us, and we'll certainly be announcing our new subreddit here soon. So whether it ends up being PE for dummies or practical penis enlargement, you guys be on the lookout for it. We would appreciate all of the members that we can have because we're really just looking for a place to not only foster practical PE, but one of the big things is, you know, positive PE. We just really want to create a positive place. And that's one of the things, again, like I didn't quite finish my thought earlier, but like some of these subreddits can get really, really toxic, and it's just fucked up for me to be on there for too long. And I think that that's true for everybody. I think that everybody literally needs to get the fuck off Reddit, you know, and you know, like to use the phrase of the age, touch grass. But like, whatever we do, if we do, you know, PE for dummies, or if we do practical PE, we're gonna make sure that it is a practical, positive space for, you know, everybody involved, and we're, you know, going to make sure to get some people on our team that make sure that we are, you know, headed in a good solid direction, and that we do keep everything sort of positive. And that's going to be I'm going to wear that word out because that really is one of the things that I think in men's mental health. And that is, you know, if you guys know me, you guys know that I am a, you know, huge component or huge proponent of men's mental health. And so I think that there's not enough positivity from men towards other men, and you know, especially in some of these, you know, we're talking about our dicks, and we're talking about fucking, and we're talking about all of this kind of stuff, and it can get really toxic in those kinds of places. And so wherever we end up going from here, it's going to be a good place. It's going to be a good, you know, it's going to be a good solid place for all of us to be involved with each other and learning from each other, and going forward. So we appreciate you guys tuning
As always, check out massivenovelties.com
massivenovelties.com
for all of your PE needs.
Check out the new Apex 2.0.
Oh yeah, that's
available
up.
now.
Live.
It is live.
Have we listed the?
Yeah, that's up there.
Either the auto pump is up now. Go check that out. It's a really useful. Perv also posted a video about how to use it. A+, in my opinion, in terms of PE products.
Yeah, it's a good product. Also available, and I mentioned this in the video, that auto pump, if we're out of it, that is available at peakmalephysique.com. It is the same exact auto pump that they sell.
Yeah.
So go there. Make sure to support BD as well.
Yeah.
Because none of us would be here if it wasn't for him.
Oh, I got some of his virility.
Mm-hmm. Is it working?
Yeah, it's working.
Why did you save that until the last part of the podcast
I don't know.
to talk about?
Sorry, BD. Just wanted to let you know.
Yeah, he was on here like 5 seconds.
We can talk about.
We're gonna talk about it.
I'll talk about it next week. I'm taking it every day.
All right,
guys.
Take care. Good night. We'll see y'all later.
Later.